Incoming, we got Series 3 happening right now. That's right, available at Ringside Collectibles. Hit the link in the description below. Discount code HERO is going to save you 10%. And we got all of them up in here. We're going to actually do a full unboxing right now. We're going to review them. We're going to check them out. We're going to see if the Young Bucks, yeah, let's get them out, you guys. We got Matt, we have Nick, we have both of the lads dressed in gold, getting ready to be presented right now. You guys ready? I was ready yesterday, man. It was Saturday, but now it's Sunday. And guess what we're doing on Sunday? Well, we're just chilling, man. We're checking out the full series because in here we're going to get Orange Cassidy, Darby Allin, of course, both of the Bucks, Riho and Pac, which, you know, I know there are some concerns regarding the head scan, but that's the purpose, man. That's why we're going to, you know what, let's just go ahead and dump them out right now because I know you guys want to get all of them checked out, especially this one. This has got to be my personal favorite. We got Orange Cassidy dressed in blue with the pockets, and yes, I did say that correct, my friends. You're going to see them inserted right there is the option. We got the glasses and the Pac, the man you wanted to talk about, the Great Khali. Hero face, that is not the Great Khali. That is the man also known as Adrian Neville, but I don't know, man. I'm still seeing the Great Khali right there. I mean, the alternate one with the hair dripping down, I think that one's doing a little bit more. Back of the packaging, he's celebrating, man. He says, I'm going to be reunited today with my bros. Well, actually, they're not in within the series. Series 2 did have them. We had the Lucha Brothers, but just imagine have them side by side right behind them. I think they would love it. I'll show you the back of the packaging on all of them because all of them will have their own thing going on. So for the Young Bucks, we got them right there. One without the in-ring gear or the in-ring entrance and one with, and then of course the signature posing going on right here. And Darby Allin as well. One that you definitely take into account as figure of the wave because I know him and Cassidy, they're going to have a match of a lifetime, man. At least within the review, it's going to be determined of whether or not we can go ahead and get carried through with the chase because that's one that I want to find. There's going to be, is it 1 in 1,000 or 1 in 500? Either way, you guys, this one will have the running chase, and whether you find it at retail or not, well, that's going to be determined of whether or not you're a true hunter or if you want to take the lazy man approach, man. And it's not lazy. He's just being laid back with it, dude. He's being calm, collective. He says you can't review the set accordingly if you don't get all the packaging covered, in which we are, man. You can see that part of mine, at least, it's kind of starting to rip through the, oh, what happened to his face? Again, good thing we're not keeping it Maki because then we'd be having some issues. And then right here, the last one, Riho from the set will be introducing the women's title right there on the back. She's got it locked in, man. It's that crossface that nobody wants. Well, actually, you know what? Bring it back, man. Because without it, we won't be able to get this set all ranked up. So again, there they are, all in package, back, left, side to side. That being said, let's get them out. First thing I want to get into, you guys, is the amount of accessories that these figures are coming with. Yes, Series 1 and Series 2 did have some, but not to this level. I mean, if you look at Cassidy, you're getting, what is it, a total of 4 well, if you count the ones that are on the figure, technically 5 interchangeable hands for him, and then that really applies for all. Once we go through Pac and the rest, you'll kind of see exactly what we're talking about. Now, first ones that are on the figure, you're going to get a closed fist, one that can actually be inserted into the pocket. You'll also have that right here with the right side, so interchanging that, fairly simple. All you got to do is pop it off, pull it in. We got 2 mic open, and then the other piece, the final piece, well, if you don't include the jacket, I would still say that the glasses should all tie in with it. Now, my concern is how did the scan on this one turn out? Because I know there was a lot of issues with Pac, Matt, and I believe also Riho, but again, once we get through it, you'll kind of see what we're talking about. Now, I am noticing that they are also doing the exact same thing that we did see with the Chris Jericho, a little bit of the bubbly. They're going to add this little plastic piece just to keep all the paint apps from clashing from one another. So, you know, if you end up taking this off, you don't have the man covered in paint. So that's pretty ideal right there by Jazzwares. Now, how do they sit on there? I think they sit on there pretty flush. I mean, you can see how they're kind of hanging over here, over the ear, just perfectly, man. The hair, the molding, I'm actually really glad as to how this turned out. I'm not seeing any of like the goofy eyes, at least not with mine. I'm not seeing any of the QC kind of from some of the ones that I've seen from other people post right there on Instagram. And the hair parting, it's going to stop right there on the left side, and then it's going to carry through with the fade right here down at the bottom. Really overall great tooling with the combination of the hair as well as the beard wrapping it all up. And there are a couple of pan apps that I am noticing on the beard as well. You can see how it kind of starts dark and getting a little bit lighter as it carries all the way down. Now for the jacket, yes, I did state that correctly. It is fabric, and I think this is probably the best piece that I've seen in quite some time. I mean, the detail, like all the stitching of how like the arms come together with the shoulders and even the pockets too. I'm going to go go ahead and interchange that so you guys can get a good idea of how that high flying action is going to go down, assuming I don't break there you go, Hero Fix. You didn't break it. I've had it happen before on live TV. Everybody stopped. They said, Hero Fix, you just need to take it a little bit easier. And we're going to be cautious inserting it in there and see how well the pocket is going to go, or how well the arm or the hand is going to go into the pocket. So you kind of have to kind of maneuver it a little bit, and just like that, it does go in. And it is a soft, pliable rubber. That's the way that you're able to execute it and get it all up in there. You can see how it kind of moves around as I was navigating it into the hole. I know that sounds terrible, but that's the true facts of how well this was pieced together. I mean, you could pull it down a little bit too, but why would you want to, man? I mean, you just want to keep that. Oh, dude, that looks so damn good. Like, so many questions. Like, how are they going to do it? How is soft, or not soft, but like hard plastic going to be able to, like, technically, in order for, like, let's go ahead and say that I was piecing this together. Like, if I was there on the table, my only conclusion was to make the actual pants cloth, but somehow, some way, Jazzwares and Wicked Cool Toys, they made it come together just perfectly. I really like how all the line work is coming together right here within the knee pads. I do also want to cover the points of articulation, because none of this we've seen prior. This is all first time, at least for Cassidy. For the rest, I know that the Young Bucks should be sharing the same mold, and I really hope that doesn't apply for the lower legs, because you guys know how tough those were to go ahead and actually pose. That being said, you guys, let's cover the points of articulation. For the shoulders, they do go this far out. You're going to get bicep swivel. There is going to be interference with the actual jacket, so once you do take that off, you should be able to do more with it. For the elbow, you're going to get a double hinge. You'll actually be able to go full 45, actually surpassing that. Wrist articulation, you can have it go down, you can have it come up. Mine's a little bit stiff. I'm going to have to soften the plastic. For the ab crunch, some really, really good ab crunch, because you're going to get the mobility in the abdominal region, as well as right here where the waist all comes together. For the legs, they're going to go this far out, that far back, and even though it's a soft rubber for the pants, it's really not taking all that much away. For the legs, they will only be able to spread about that much, and I think it's due to the interference. For the knees, we're going to get a double hinge, calf articulation, ankle articulation, as well as the pivot on the full degree on this. I got to tell you, I am ranking this a clear 10. I'm going to go ahead and take it off too, so that way you guys can kind of see what the torso looks like, because I don't believe we haven't seen, or actually come to think of it, did we see it? No. I think the Young Bucks might. Oh, how do we take this off, you guys? This is actually all stitched together into one piece. So I think really the only way is, first, let's take off the hands. We'll go ahead and pull those off. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to slip it up, because I think if I try taking off the vest first and then the shirt, things end up ripping. So there you go. You got to go ahead and pull it off just like a regular traditional. So it's all one piece. It's what it is. So slipping that off, you guys, yeah, it's definitely a little bit of a fight. But you know what? We're going to go ahead and do it. No ripping, no tearing, just a clean cut right there on the abdominal region. So there it is. And you can see that on mine. Ended up popping up. There you go. Pop that in. We're good to go. And upon further investigation, it's actually the exact same torso as Darby Allin. Yes, there's no tattoos, but the thing is that there's no tattoos that are going to be needed. Not when you got the man being able to put the hands in the pocket. And I've never been this excited about being able to put damn hands in pockets. But when it's on a figure and the complexity of it all has been toned down to a freaking, I'm going to give it a, I said a 10, but I'm actually leaning more towards like an 11, you guys. This has to surpass a WHF ranking. And if it don't, I think that Pac is going to come out. He's going to say, no, Hero Figs, you can't, because you need to show the people as to the accessory. And I do believe the very first chair in the Jazzware line, I don't think, a little bit of the bubbly, they had the table. There was no chair. They could have incorporated a chair, but they held off. They said, we can't do it. Not until Pac gets up in here. Quick comparison, I do have a Mattel one. I'm going to give you a Mattel version as well as a ring set, because we have seen 3 different versions when it comes to the actual chair, right? So this one, obviously, you can see it's more squared off. This is more front row. This is all cushioned. Height and scale, they're actually alongside pretty good. I mean, from the bottom right here all the way up to the tippy top, you can see that the creation and the thought, it was pretty much all there when they came to assembling this whole piece. And you can put it down, you can lift it up. You wouldn't be able to execute a clean chair shot if you had it unfolded, but you know what? Bam! There you go, Great Khali. That's what you get for calling WHF a liar, and it's not the Great Khali. Not until you tell people that they intended it for it to be Pac, but now we got a little debate going on as to who this man is underneath the hair. Well, obviously this is clearly Pac. There's no doubt in in my mind or a shadow that Pac said, Neville, where are you? I'm right here, dude. I never left. But look, I can kind of see what people are talking about. I think the way that like how the beard is sculpted, it's given in like this really long elongated look that's just really making it clash with the true representation. So that being said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and pop off the head, not the torso. I meant to do the head. That's probably my biggest problem when it comes to the whole like build on these figures, you guys. They pop off. Like, I'm not trying to do part swaps in the middle of a figgy review. I'm just trying to tell people that even with this one, it's still kind of disappointing. And the reason why is because the hair, it didn't stop halfway. You go back, you check out really any other images, you won't see the man's hair just stop right there at shoulder length. So I want to throw just a simple idea for anybody that wants to get creative. I might try it. It all depends on how difficult the molding is. But just imagine this. Let's go ahead and say that we use the scan that's actually underneath the hair dripping down and utilize the hair piss on this because it's actually going further than what it should be. So mixing it together, I think that'd be the best way to fix the issue. Now for the torso, yeah, it's a little bit underwhelming as well because Pac is a pretty ripped dude. I mean, his chest, when it comes to the definition, I'm really not seeing it right here from like, I would say this up, but from the waist down, I can definitely see the six pack and everything that the man's got going on. And it is difficult because do keep in mind that since they are introducing like new molding, like different sculpt, it's going to be crashing along the way. For the tights right here, we're going to get the black up front, the gray mixing in with the gray outline that's going to mix it and bring it all to the back end. I don't know if you guys are also noticing this, but it's looking pretty damn flat. And I know the ladies would not appreciate me saying that, but look, man, we got to be truthfully honest. The thing that I do got to say that is a huge up from the prior, not Pac, but like the actual Mattel figure line, the Neville, it was the legs, because all of them, like any of the ones that actually ended up coming up in Elite Articulation, the thighs were painted on. So the fact that we don't have to worry about chipping or any of those issues, that is a huge upgrade. For the knee pads, you're going to get that signature design. Kick pads right here, we're going to get the tooling or the molding right here towards the bottom, and it's going to mix in all real well. I am going to cover the points of articulation as well. Shoulders go this far out. You're going to get a full 360 on the bicep. You're going to get a double hinge right there on the elbow. Full wrist articulation for the ab crunch. You're going to be able to get them this far forward, about that far back, and you're also going to get the swivel right there in the upper part. For the legs, they do go pretty far out. They are on a ball hinge. Actually, I'm pretty sure, matter of fact, every single one that I've covered, all of them do have the ball hip, so really part swapping should be fairly simple with any of them. And then the upper thigh right here, you're going to be able to get the full 360 on that as well. For the legs, they don't go that far forward. You can see how it stops quite a bit. I mean, it should say, I would say right there would be perfect for the level of degree, but again, that's going to interfere right there with all meeting together. A double hinge or a double joint on the knee, and there is no calf, well, there is calf rotation, but it's going to occur fairly high up top, and I don't know if it's just mine, or you know what, take it back, you guys, there is no calf rotation. It looks like they have the molding for it, but it just completely stopped. They do have the ankle articulation, not much going on for him when it comes to the actual pivot point, but it's still very much there. I'm giving him an 8.5, and mainly due to the overall look of the torso, as well as how they did the whole hairpiece, and just the face in general, the first one, as well as the alternate. And I think ranking, man, he's going to be having a tough time right there. I think he should be sitting flush right there alongside with the Young Bucks. Now for Darby Allin, I'm going to go ahead and show you the skateboard first, because really we've never seen it, whether with Mattel or Jax. This is the first time that a WWE, or not WWE, but you know, a wrestling company is actually putting out a tech deck board. And it's not like an actual tech deck, but it's looking awfully reminiscent. I wish I had a comparison. Unfortunately, I don't have one in my figgy collection, but this is looking really clean. The wheels, you can actually spin them. They do rotate the front as well as the back. We are going to get some pretty, like, really good paint apps when it comes to like how they did the bottom, mixing in with the side right here and the top piece. So really nice looking board, you guys. And the only thing that I would say that would be really cool to see, well, it's kind of like how Tech Deck did. I'm pretty sure, and if anybody has one, please go in the comments and let me know. But they put a little peg, so that way when you would put a figure on the board, you wouldn't have any issues with them falling off. So that's really my only concern that I would say about this. I mean, overall, really like how they did like the tooling, all like the broken pieces on it. You can see how part of it's chipped off. So some great stuff going on with that skateboard. For the jacket, it is going to be a soft rubber, and it is going to be really easy to take off. I'm already telling you this right now because this is kind of on what they ended up using with a little bit of the bubbly for the Chris Jericho. For the back, I'll go ahead and show you prior to taking it off. I'm pretty sure, but I do believe that the Chase will be sharing the exact same jacket that you are seeing right here. Only difference is going to be the way that the whole paint apps were done on the tights, as well as like the whole freaking body, because I think like right there, that's where it starts splitting off on the Chase, kind of how we're seeing it right there with the scan. And then for the torso, again, the exact same one that we did see with Orange Cassidy. So we're not going to cover the points because, at least not when it comes to the waist up. We'll go ahead and cover from the waist down because we are seeing shorts as opposed to the pants. So right there, you can see they go pretty good or pretty good far out. There is upper thigh cut. So it looks like they stashed it right alongside here. So you'll get a full 360 on that. A double hinge on the knees, and you will get calf rotation towards the bottom. For the boots, you'll see that the ankle articulation, you can pivot forward, back, side to side, and some really, really nice yellow outline work to wrap it up right down here at the bottom. Coming back up to the shorts, you can see how the camo, they did a really, really nice job just scattering all that design throughout, man. Really cool how you see all those dark shadows, all those demons that he battles with every single day. They're all reflected on here, and maybe I'm just looking a little bit too much into it, but just know that there's always some kind of meaning when people decide to paint their face or write something across the chest. Here we got nothing over till you're underground. And I know that sounds a little bit dark, but just do know that this man, there's a lot of darkness. Why do you think Sting has become so infatuated with the man's character? There's going to be some really good storylines that are going to develop within those two. But for the time being, dude, this figure, oh my gosh, look, relentless. Yes, I'm seeing it right now with the necklace, with the hair, those blonde tips. They are all coming real well. The left side has got to be my favorite side, man. The way that he did the mouth and the eye right there with the shadowing wrapping all the way around. This is also going to be getting a 10. I think everything with it, yes, it comes with full-on bags within the arms, but again, this is all to prevent all that paint app, or from the jacket at least. So that way when you slip it off, you don't have all this with like a bunch of smush going on. So I think a 10, man. I think really firm on a perfect 10. The skateboard is really cool. The accessories are there for them. For the Young Bucks, yeah, I don't know. This is a little step back from we did see before. Now, Nick, he really ain't that bad. I'm actually a big fan of what they did with the scan. For Matt, I can't necessarily say the same, even though that, like, from, you know, the head down, it's technically the exact same figure. But, man, did they do him rough. And I'll show you here in just a sec. I want to cover Nick first, and then we'll get a little bit more descriptive with Matt right there. So for the bandana, it is going to be molded on. You can't actually take it off. And going across, we'll have the Elite name, which really the only form when it comes, at least in the figure line, is going to be Elite. No basic within this. For the jacket, it is going to be rubber. And I know with the first one, they ended up doing fabric. But the thing is that this one's got the sleeves cut off. So as far as like losing any articulation, it shouldn't take anything away from it, and I think that's mainly the reason why they took the approach. On the back end, you're going to see the exact same thing that we did see on the bandana, except in bigger font. For the tassels, they are a little bit wavy. I mean, you can't bend them. They are permanently stuck pre-post phasing down, but still pretty cool to see them being incorporated longer in the back and shorter in the front, just the way that he had it. On the side right here, you'll see that the yellow, it will come together, and it is the exact same torso, so I'm not going to fart around with it. So if you want to see what all it is when it comes down to like the articulation of this figure, it's really the exact same thing. And I'm feeling the bottom of the legs. Unfortunately, it's feeling pretty much the same. So let's go ahead and we're going to test it out, because I know this is the biggest thing that people keep talking about is posing them. How well do they stand up? These ones do seem to feel a little bit better. These ones were a fight, you guys. Like, I can only get these efforts in one pose and one pose only, and I think it was mainly because the way that the tassels were presented on these ones. These are all fabric, so we shouldn't be having that same issue. And really, really nice stuff going on right here, because not only are we seeing the red, the gold, and the white coming through, but the bottom of it, you can see how it's all flared out within there. So the blue and the mixture of it all, the pants are looking really clean. I'm not seeing like any like paint mixing in together, which I know that was one of the biggest concerns when it came to the design of these tights. So overall, I think for Nick, I'm going to give you a 9.3. Matt, let me show you the skin on Matt. This one is rough. I will say this, though. I mean, at least when it comes to the skin tone, they fixed it. Because the pastiness, it was very, very pasty on the very first release for the Young Bucks. This go around, at least they toned it down. But man, oh man, I mean, the expression, I don't know what went down. Like, I think this is just my whole perspective on why Matt turned it up the way that Matt did. And maybe he wanted to do like a full on scream. So when it was like in freeze frame, it was just in probably the worst possible scenario. I'm just trying to justify it, man. It is definitely a rough scan. Again, the exact same figure that we did see. So for him, I'm going to give him an 8.5, and he's going to be losing some mainly due to that scan. It's just a failure, man. And whether Riho actually ends up walking out with a W from that, I honestly won't tell you until we get her all reviewed, because the championship, let's go ahead and show you the women's championship. It is already set up for you. You know, if you want to have it put on and slip on right there into the arm, you can do that. But if you want to put it around the waist, there you go. Plop that out, get it up front and center, get that AEW located right up front and all the side plates. At least they are doing all the side plates correct, because if you guys check out the review that we did a couple days back with the women's title, they had it on one side but didn't have it on the other. So good job. Huge plus. You're already getting a win on that one. Interchangeable hands. You're going to get 2 mic open. You're going to get 2 full on open. And then you're going to get a close fist. And then you're going to get that signature pointing hand right there in case if she's got to dig out one of those nasties. All right. Tight design. I like the pink. Really good stuff going on with the pink and the white. Chase, almost identical. But again, you know, it's going to be almost like the exact. She's not very creative when it comes to like changing the whole look of it. She'll go vice versa. So instead of like the pink inside, it would be the white and then the white outside. You guys already know what vice versa means. Now, the shoulder piece, you can see how it's molded in within the actual chest piece of it all. It is going to take away from the actual articulation. For the wrist right here, you are going to get the gauntlets. You can rotate them. So if you go ahead and do some poses, you can have it inwards, outwards, whichever way you want to go with it, you'll have that display option. For the arm, it is going to be wrapping around within the pink. The waist right here, the actual skirt, this is going to be a separate piece in its own entity. So it's not going to be like glued onto the actual figure of itself. The bottom, you're going to get the same pink combo that we did see up top. And then you're going to get the whole mixture right here, mixing in real well. I really like the cross pattern. So for the knee pads, it's only painted on, but for the actual boots of it all, you can feel like the sculpting of it. So it looks like they went a little bit El Cheapo, but again, it's a knee pad design, and most likely the way that you're seeing it right here, it's just the way that it was painted on the actual knee pads of it all. And it is going to be an open design, so as far as articulation, it shouldn't take anything away, except when we talk about the calves. And I don't know why they're doing this with her as they did right there with Pac. Like, they just got away from the calf rotation, so you won't see any of that. For the rest of the points right here, you'll see that the shoulders, they do go pretty good out. You get a full 360 on the bicep, double hinge right there on the elbow, wrist articulation, ab crunch going this far forward, that far back, legs do go far out. You can get a full 360, but it's going to occur from the bottom point, not necessarily from the top. For the legs, they should go pretty good far forward regardless of the skirt. It's still surpassing a lot better than what we did see over there. And then for the knees, we're going to get a double hinge. Again, no calf rotation, but you will still get the ankle articulation. I think for ranking, it's going to truly come down to of how they did with the head scan. Now, see, the profile look, it actually, I definitely see Riho in there, but when you look at like from a straightforward point, I can see the goofy look that people are talking about. So I think, I don't know, an 8.9 should do pretty good. But overall, let's go ahead and rank them from best to worst. Number 1, I still got to go with Cassidy. This was a highly anticipated figure for me. A lot of questions as to how they were going to execute it, and they did. Darby Allin, a clear 2. Number 3, I got to give it to Matt. 4, I'm going to give it to Pac. 5, I got to give it to Riho. And then last place, Matt, I'm sorry, man. Something about that scan. Give me your thoughts, though. Let me know what you guys think about all these accessories, the extra belts, the skateboard. We're getting it all today, my friends. I want to thank you guys for watching. Be sure to hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. And we'll see you on the next one. Super Kick Party!